Welcome to the Smoking Word. Welcome to the Smoking Word.
This podcast is brought to you by CasaDeRock.com. Always brought to you by CasaDeRock.com. That's my merch store. I want everybody to go there right now. I got a $10 print I need to get rid of. Go cop it right now, $10. We also got for all you smokers, tokers, and sage burners. We got ashtrays, grinders. We got all types of stuff, snapbacks. So support your boys, support the podcast, CasaDeRock.com. And that's only for US. And for everybody else around the planet, CasaDeRock.eu. That's basically my boy Theo, GSR. Shout out to them. CasaDeRock.eu. Listen, if you're listening to the podcast or you just want to look good, that's where you go. Patreon, always mad love to you. Thank you for making it happen. We have a lot of stuff dropping. Patreon knows what time it is, you know. Everybody else, follow me on Instagram. You know the deal. Follow the Smoking Word on Instagram and follow my dogs that are barking in the background. But this is live and direct. And listen, shout out to everybody subscribing and following us all around the planet. But on the real, I had a blast on this episode. I got to chop it out with my brother, Brett Rasmussen, the hitman from Ignite. So everybody tune in and let's set this shit off.
Think about what I'm going to say.
What up, hitman? What's going on?
Dude, it is so good to see you.
I know.
As these shows start rolling out and I'm going to shows now a little bit and seeing people, I mean, of course, we all miss touring. We all miss being out there, but even more so when you start seeing all the faces, you're like, dude, I need to get out on the road. I need to play shows.
Oh, hell yeah. Like when we first did that one little thing back, you know, in the park show, like that first show back after the first long break, I was telling people I was psyched to see people I hated. I was like, I'm happy to hate you in person. You know what I mean?
I don't have to do it virtually.
Yeah, like, and I ended up not hating them as much because I realized I was like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you know,
it's good to see faces, man. I mean, I mean, people always ask us, they ask you a million times too, what do you guys like better, a festival or a club show? Yeah. And I always used to say, I like club shows because the people and everything, but I like festivals, man. I like rolling in and looking out the bus and seeing, oh, there's Suicidal's bus, there's Comeback Kids bus, there's Madballs. Yeah. And then you play the show, which whether it's amazing or not, but then all night you're on somebody else's bus, telling stories, talking, like it's so good seeing people.
It's because we know it and people automatically assume we like it more just because it's the bigger crowd, which that's dope about it. But
for sure,
exactly, we see it from the other side where it's like, no, it's like a big frat party. You know, all the bands are kind of mixing with each other if they like it or not.
Yep. No, and how good is it seeing like Jamie from Hatebreed?
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just dudes like that. It's so fun.
I love walk. Yeah, exactly. You walk into the bathroom, you run into somebody, you go to catering, you sit down with, you know, somebody else. It's like, that's one of the great things about being in a band, especially bands like us that were able to do these festivals, you know, like the festival thing. Like it's common now, but you know, it wasn't common when we first, as common when we were first.
No.
I didn't
know what like when I grew up, there was like the US Festival in America and Woodstock, and that was it. And then when we went on those first tours, they're like, oh, you're playing. The very first show we played in Europe was the Holtzfred Festival, and there's no internet, so I can't click on to see who's playing. There's no cell phones, there's nothing, and it just says Holtzfred Festival. And I was like, oh, I don't know, what does that mean? We get there and we see this big poster, and our name's on the same poster with Oasis, Blur, Motorhead.
You're like,
Pennywise.
They fucked up. Somebody fucked up.
Yeah, I'm like, this is amazing. I go, if the band's done after this one show, I'm good.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. That's a great fucking first show there.
Right? First show ever in Europe was this big festival.
And before you got there for that show, were people like telling you, like, you know what you're getting in, like saying like, yo, you playing this big festival, blah, blah, blah. Like they didn't even.
We had nothing. We played before we left for that first festival or tour. That first tour in '94, we played, I don't know, 10 shows, 6 shows, 8 shows, something like that. And the last show we played before we left was like 40 people in like our own headlining show in LA. And then and I'm playing with Oasis. Come on.
So, I'll tell you a better one. And this is more recent. So we get to fucking do we do Wembley Arena, us, Korn, and Limp Bizkit.
Yep.
Dope. Wow, fucking wow, kind of thing. Like next day we played London, our own show, and the fucking the Fly Trap or whatever the fuck.
Right.
For like fucking 100 motherfuckers. Dope. And that's our world, but it's pretty funny, like,
Yeah, the difference between the big, something like that. It's night and day.
Yeah, but it's great. And let me ask you this. So the band's back, man. You see, now it ain't even that new, but since I've talked to you.
I haven't seen anybody out there that's really seen the new thing we're doing. Yeah. So we're stoked, man. It's just fun, and it's just me and Nick and Kevin and Chris, like, dude, we've been doing this band a long time. Those guys all joined in either the late 90s or the early 2000s. A lot of years together, 100 years together of playing, collectively. And we just wanted to still do it. We just wanted to keep playing and have fun together, touring. I mean, we love touring so much, writing music together. And, we got enough street, like, we do whatever you want. We can do whatever we want at this point. We don't have to answer to anybody.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Never did. And you know what, because I lose focus on the timeline because this whole shit last couple of years, and I follow. So, and I know you guys. So I know when stuff was like, if you guys, so I remember the band, you see, I never hear that the band's broken up, just like, at one point I heard, Zoli's not in the band no more, if it's that he left or whatever it be. And then it's like, which is great on your part that you guys never would just say, we broken up. Like, that's some shit I would do and then regret it like an hour later. Like,
not trying to cash in on it, but just make a statement, right?
Yeah. Just to be like, now nobody has it. We're broken up, because just out of like,
we always thought it was just kind of better just to be quiet and then just let it play out however it played out.
Yeah, and which was smart, and but all right, so I lose a little bit of the time frame. Now, when you guys decided, because I know some of the other fellas, they had the other group they were fucking around with for a minute. Rickshaw something, right?
Nick doing some side stuff, for sure.
But what's the name?
And we always dabble.
What was the rickshaw? Something like that.
I can't say it.
Okay. Okay, whatever it is.
I'm just kidding.
Remember.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you see, the medicine only affects the short term, not the long term.
The steel trap is in place.
You know what I mean? But all right, you guys are doing that. When did it rehash? Like, let's. First of all, I know you guys always, were doing music and guys are doing the site. You also had your other thing or whatever. When did you said, okay, let's play together? And was it automatically, did you tell each other like, okay, it's going to be Ignite again? Or did you try to get back together and say, let's try something new? And then said, fuck it, let's just reignite.
No, it was from the beginning. Like when Zoli left, it was, I talked to the guys right after that and said, if we find a guy, do you guys want to do it? And everybody was like, yes, absolutely. So it was a matter of like, okay, well, that now we could say that all day long, but that doesn't mean we're going to find a guy and it's going to work and everything. So, which is not easy, of course, So that was like in late 2019, early 2020. We just said, let's give it a year. And let's start writing songs with the idea that we're going to do this. And if we find a guy, we find a guy. And we didn't want to make it some like 4-year process, something where we're just like, this is just getting like too, like, it's just dragging us down. Like we're going to give it a year. If we find a guy, if it works, then we'll do it. If not, let's do something else. And that was kind of the mindset. So we just started writing like complete songs, like from the get-go. Like, let's not just write a riff. Let's like hash out a whole song, lyrics, vocals, because we don't know if a guy that we're getting is going to be a writer or whatever. So we just started doing it 100% from the get-go.
Yeah. And let me ask you this though. So when you did that, all right. So all the guys, you said, all right, we're going to do this. Was it before the COVID thing or the COVID helped kickstart it?
That was right before. So that was like early 2020. And then it's like, how are we going to try guys out? how we even get together. It like, you know, it was this big like thing that all of a sudden the whole world shut down, which was weird, which was actually kind of, it played kind of good because we didn't have that feeling that like seeing you guys out like touring Europe and we're like at home looking for a singer or something. There wasn't, it was like we just focused on songwriting.
Misery likes company, you could say.
Exactly.
Yeah, you were suffering.
And
you loved it that we were suffering. Let me tell you, that's how I've been existing on other people's suffering.
Right.
Like we're doing it together.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been very distracting to, and then and like, what if we're in the middle of recording the new record with the new guy and all of a sudden we get a tour offer and then like something we can't turn down. And then, and then it was all streamlined. It was all focused. So we didn't have any distractions of like potential tours or, these guys want to take you out for these 2 shows or whatever. So it literally was just songwriting.
You could work on it.
Songwriting, get in the studio and do the record.
And all right, so let me ask you this. How far along were you before you started looking for the singer, or before that fell into place?
We probably had like 10 songs.
Oh, that's it? You make it sound like that's it? That's like our fucking, that's like, what I got to do for 10 songs is like,
well, we wanted to do Rancid style this time. We wanted to write like 150 songs and then pick the 10 best, you know what I mean? Yeah. And everybody's only putting 10 or 11 songs on records now. It's not like you got to put 18 songs on records anymore, you know? I know. And it gets all thin on the backside and you're like, why is that song made the record?
Why are you playing that riff 10 more times? It's like, it's like there's a thing called.
Does anybody have any ideas for vocals on this? You know what I mean? It's like, so
put extra delay on it so it goes longer to make that time.
Make it sound, totally. So so we just started writing a ton. And then by the time we got Eli and it looked like he was going to be the guy, we had a ton of music written. And then he was like, because he's the best guitar player in the band. He comes from Holy Grail. He's this metal guy.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Now let's rewind. Like I'm gonna get a sample. When we move up in the world, I'm gonna get a you heard it first. Because for this reason, let's rewind, because I was gonna get into him. So I've caught up on you on other spots because I'm a fan. And I also wanted to know what's up because it caught me, first of all, I'm glad to see some color in the band. And 2, I was out of curiosity. I said, it's going to be hard to take my man out,
For sure.
Even not that it's a thing that's about taking out or better, but like, singers, that shit ain't easy to do. You could bring Pavarotti in, doesn't mean it's going to work.
Totally. I mean, one of the best voices, like Zoe's got one of the best voices, period.
And I'll say this, not because you're my boy, but I'll say now, I got a couple people will tell you because we were hitting each other up. I was pleasantly surprised, not surprised, because I know you got a good ear for music, and all you guys do that. You wouldn't pick some guy that I could just barely hang. I know you guys knew it can't be like Zoli, but it got to be able to hang and have range. He's gonna have to be able to kill it because people are gonna make comparisons. I know you thought of all these shit. You've been around long enough, and you guys found the right guy. So like, I've seen you guys a trillion times.
No, totally. And dude, Vinny Stigma told me one time, I mean, he's told me a lot of really like important things, but like he always said, get somebody in the band that you get along with. That's a friend. He's like, you got to sit next to a guy for 15 hours on a van, make sure it's not some Mama Luke. So that was like almost the biggest thing, as important as like, we got to have a guy that can like be the singer.
Of course.
Like, and when we got together with Eli, it was quick. It was like, this guy's cool. And it wasn't some green guy that had never toured before. He'd been the guitar player in all these other bands for years and years and years. So it was like, he's been on the road forever.
Yeah. So walk me through that. So, okay. You knew him before. And that's what I found out, that he was a guitarist and I know he was a shredder because I know he comes from, I didn't hear that. I know of the band.
Yeah.
And from hearing from you, it was more on a metal side, right? More like that, which makes the whole shit even better that he ends up with you guys. Like, you don't know how many pluses that is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That because everybody expects, oh no, you're gonna grab a guy off the beach with dirty blonde hair. Guy skateboarded. Come on, Ignite, perfect. Fall into
totally.
Sing opera.
Looks the part.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But, no, totally. We so he was friends with our drummer Craig. And he had hung out at Ignite shows before, and he'd been a fan of the band for a long time. And we had been trying out a few guys. One, it was hard to get together. There was a guy from the East Coast that wanted to come out, but with the whole pandemic we were playing with a guy locally for a little bit. It didn't seem to be the right fit. And then I was driving home from that rehearsal, and I called Craig. I said, hey man, there's got to be like somebody in the metal scene that can sing and not just be a screamer, because we didn't want it to be like such a big shift to where it's just like a screamer. And he said, I don't know, let me call my friend Eli. He plays guitar in Holy Grail, and maybe he knows somebody. And then Craig called me back. He goes, hey, he wants the music track to lay vocals down to. He said he wants to give it a shot. And I said, can he sing? And Craig's like, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So he sent it back like 2 days later, and we were like, well, let's get in a room with this guy. So, and it went really quick after that. We got in the room, and it was like, wow, this sounds cool. And we started working on new stuff that night. And we were in the, I want to say the recording studio, which is your house with your computer, right? So we were recording like the next week, like new demos with him.
So when you, all right, now let me ask you this: you get the tape? Yeah. Are you by yourself when you got the tape?
He mailed me the tape.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Hold on. You see why I need that?
Yeah.
He emailed you the tape or whatever. So when you first heard you're home or something, you hear it, and was it close to, or was he like off the grip? You were like, he murdered it, or you off the grip, you heard like, yo, I think we could work with this. What was the first?
It was a little of both. So he's hitting the notes, but then he's going like Ronnie James Dio with the vibrato and the metal stuff. And he's kind of throws in some metal stuff, I think, just to kind of mess with us a little bit too. Yeah. Kind of like, hey, this is what I am.
And what I could do. That's good to see range also.
Yeah.
What could you do? Yeah.
So then we all called each other and was like, hey, let's do this. Let's get in a room. So it was immediately, I mean, we had like 4 or 5 guys sing over some music, and this was like by far I think the best that we had heard between any of the guys that we'd sent stuff out to.
Did you send them old tracks, or just straight up had them jump on new shit?
No, we sent an old track. So it was Bleeding. Yeah,
that's like that's a song that you could pick at least. It got a little of everything.
Yeah, it's the litmus test of, okay, let's just get right to it. Can this guy sing like our most popular song?
Yeah, exactly. That'll be a good start, right?
Right. If he can't do it, and then so I mean, because you get instrumental tracks off of when you get the album mixes. So we had out instrumentals versions of most of the songs to send him if we needed to. And
how great is it that he's not fully white, or you're white, he's Spanish, right? What is he? He's Mexican.
I'm almost see-through.
Yeah. I was so happy to see some color.
I know when you texted me that, you're like, oh, I like that.
Yeah, I was like, I like that. No, I bugged out. No, because I was obviously rooting for you guys, and I was like, and also in a little bit of an excitement, like, what are they gonna, because I know you guys, you're good musicians. I know you got a good ear, so I knew it wasn't gonna be whack. But how are you gonna come? I was like very curious, because it's so, Zoli's so unique, and to ignite sound, it's a big part. So you always wonder, can you do it? Like, how's it gonna sound? Is it just gonna sound like, oh, something's missing? Which, and I love, to me, I love Zolt. That's my bro, and all that, and I love them with you guys. I gotta say, this dude, if it had to be somebody, I couldn't see anybody else doing it. Like, he did the next best thing that I could hear that doesn't sound like, that's not Zoli, but in the Ignite world.
And he's got a different look. It's a different vibe. It brings a whole new element. It's not, it's not like us trying to like replicate something. So it's just us being the next chapter in Ignite, which is what we wanted to do. We didn't want to like try and like mimic what we had. It's like, we knew we weren't going to be able to do that, because it's just the uniqueness of Zoli's voice and whatnot. So it was just like, let's just get something that we're stoked on, and that we can be excited about these new songs and this new album. That was like the main thing. It's like, are we going to be pumped on this, on the new record? And when we started working on the demos, we're like, okay, this feels good.
Yeah. And when you started working on this, so how much, I assume he's good with laying vocals into the music, because he's a guitar player and obviously he's a singer. So I'm assuming, those guys usually, they already got a melody and a riff and blah, blah, blah. Totally. How was it laying songs down? Because Ignite got fucking big songs. Like, it ain't just, riff this, there's little hooks, there's little segues, vocal, a lot of breaks, and, it's bells and whistles. Yeah. Did he fall into place smoothly? Or did you,
it was pretty No, it was pretty easy. We had written a bunch of the stuff before he got there. So we had like 20 songs or something like that we just handed over to him. We give him like 3 at a time because it was just like, here's 20. It's like too much. So we would give him 3 at a time with lyrics, melodies, everything. And then once we kind of got the demos down with his voice on all those, then we started collaborating on the writing process. And he was bringing now music to the table. The most hardcore song on the record he wrote was the one that we just released called This Day. That's filmed in the skate shop. I mean, he was like, hey, I got an idea for kind of like a uniform choice kind of style song, some of the stuff that you guys did on in your earlier releases. And we were like, okay, yeah, bring it. And we heard it. We were like, oh, that's the most Ignite sounding song on the record, written by a guy who wasn't in Ignite a month ago. So
that's how it is, when, like, I call it when people eat it and regurgitate it out. That shit is sometimes, it's like that monkey that shits out the coffee, supposed to be banging. Same kind of, you know what I mean?
I love it.
That's what Madball was for our influences. If you liked our shit, the coffee shit balls that came out of us, it was a little bit of AF, Chromax, Raw.
That's such an eloquent way to say it, dude. It's such an eloquent way to say it.
I'm a wordsmith, I've been told. You know
I love your vernacular, dude. It sounds so good.
But no, but I'm psyched. And you know what it is? And again, you guys should be psyched, all you guys, that you're to me, you're out of the rough waters as far as new singer. You're good. You're good. Right. I said it.
Thank you.
I said it. So
you got the stamp? You got the approval stamp? Where is it? Okay.
No, but I mean, to me, it's look at I'm hearing it from people that don't know you, like, or whatever.
Right.
It's no longer like, oh, the new single, oh, it ain't, he's whack. It's like, the new Ignite. And it's kind of like, oh, it's already like, it's sunk in, I think, already to people. Like, it ain't that big of a deal no more.
The reaction has been very, very positive, which you never know how it's going to be. I didn't know if people, but you know what, to be honest, people still say, oh, I like Joe Nelson, the best singer of Ignite.
Course.
There's going to be, I'm first demo. We call those the first demo guys.
I hate them. It's
them. Like,
and then they're like 12 years old and they're telling you about a song you wrote fucking 30 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah. Randy Johnson was and I love all of Ignite. I love the Joe Nelson stuff. I love the Randy Johnson. Those are important chapters of the whole way.
Randy Johnson, the pitcher.
Yeah. He had, when he was part-time, when he was in the minor leagues, he was singing for us.
Hey, and what do you call it? Now fucking for sure. It's crazy. And I gotta say, so you doing that, like, I was like, man, we were waiting, and I was like, you're always gonna get those people. Overall, from my side, from hearing from the people, a lot of people were like, yo, the dude is dope, and they're pulling it off. And then you were lucky on, I don't want to say lucky, but it was good that you guys were able to right away follow up with some shows to showcase Homeboy.
Yeah.
Because people that I started seeing reactions from people were like, yo, you got to see him, yo, live, yo, killed it. And, for bands like us, live is very important how we come off.
That's where you connect with the people, man. I mean, like, obviously you can but there's so many bands. I mean, you can put stuff out and release songs, but like for us to really connect with the people, it's going and playing in front of them and handing them the vinyl and putting the t-shirts on them. Cause that's like where bands like us make our money and make our mark and like do everything. I mean, there's tons of people who have only heard Madball or Ignite or whatever, never seen us for sure. But our biggest connective thing with our fans at those live shows.
Yeah. And obviously, look, I know you, and I know we're at a point in age where we just got that I don't give a fuck we're gonna do kind of what we do. And I know you knew that people were gonna talk shit,
of course,
right off the grip before the thought of it. Yeah, So, but how much of it, all right, when you thought about it, like me, there's guys like us. I know we're the type that, we'll take that challenge, but also how much of it that was it more in your head or less at the end of the day of like negative, or was it as big of a pain in the ass as you thought it would be, like bringing this new guy in and transitioning to where you're at right now? Because right now it seems like you're on stable water.
Yeah. It's weird. So right now, remember, so when we would put records out in the 90s and you'd get a magazine and you'd open it and you'd read the review and you'd see like 10 of those and that's it. That's the only feedback you got.
Exactly.
Now it's like, dude, you pick up your phone, your life can be ruined in like 15 minutes.
Seconds.
It's horrible so it can be horrible. I mean, I feel bad for these athletes and the pro athletes and all, I mean, but that's the world they chose to live in. And that's how the world is now. It's instant feedback. So it was a little bit like, we were just curious what the vibe was. I thought it was going to be like 60, 40, 70, 30, maybe people into it, but it was a lot. The feedback's been great. I think that people want to root for your band and want you to be successful, and they want, of course they don't want to like hear crappy music or be let down, but I think I'm a optimist, so I hope that people would be like, want to root for us, but I know there's a lot of people that want to see people fail too. But the feedback was that's been great.
Yeah, so like obviously, Europe's our biggest market, and overall for our music, our scene, that's way bigger per capita, or whatever the right word is.
Sure.
Do you think the negative on the new guy, or at first, was it more from European crowd or American crowd? Obviously America's smaller, but you know what I mean.
It was, the feedback I think was pretty consistent everywhere.
Pretty even. Oh, that's
there was. You get some people saying, "Wow, why are they even still doing this?" You're going to get that no matter what.
Yeah, I get that now. And we got when we had original lineup, people were telling us that.
I know. Why are you guys still just doing it in general?
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, die. People were telling us just die.
Yeah. So I think the feedback was pretty even from everywhere. It was pretty consistent. Like I think people were just excited that a lot of people were excited that we were just back.
And that for sure. And I think, again, it worked out, the timing, like where the world was at. And all right, you're coming back, and not just, all right, we're back with a new album now, back. Oh, they did a new singer. Oh, what's that? It gave something to be like excited about. Oh, let's see the new single. Oh, dope, new single. Oh, who's this guy? Like you said, he had a good look. It stuck out. Let's hear him. Oh shit, it's dope. Or they had a video. Let's drop a video. And
you know what's cool, Hoya, now is like, I mean, I know me and you basically started doing this at the same time. It's so different now how albums were rolled out. When we first put records out, remember, it was like, I mean, before there was streaming, you would get maybe one video. Yeah. We didn't do videos. It would just, the album would come out and there would be some advertising, and then good luck and be on your way. And that was it. And then as things started to change with streaming and stuff, then everybody the album started leaking. Oh my gosh, it was the worst thing in the world. The albums are leaking. You didn't get to roll it out. But now how this album was done for us, we announced it 5-6 months ago, and a song a month coming out before. It's so cool. I mean, it's way better for bands like us, because it's not just like 3 weeks of marketing and then move on to the next band. It's like, you can actually roll an album out with 4 or 5 songs
and keep the buzz going. Absolutely.
Keep the buzz going, get some legs on this stuff, get people excited. And if it's good stuff and people are into it, then it's just going to create some momentum for you. And bands like our size never had that before.
It's true. And that's the one positive of the way we have to maneuver now, like that. And it works better for mature bands like us, like that. Exactly. Like, nobody's going to manipulate time more than experienced musicians when it comes to filling up a record with filler. Right. Everybody knows at one point there's going to be some filler. For even, sure. If you want it or not, or not a strong song you play, it's all part of the game. This way, I think you could concentrate on quality. It gives, and right now where everybody could just fucking swallow everything at once, it kind of puts a what do you call it? Almost like a regulator on how much you get of it, and lets you fucking taste it and swallow it before you just fucking eat it and shit it out and move to the next thing,
And I think it's making albums more relevant again, rather than just, one song and move on to the next thing. Like, cause you were rolling out and the band, the Bronx, who are good friends of ours, I watched them do almost the exact same rollout, like 6 to 8 months before our record. And I enjoyed it, like seeing the single and then them having a skate deck come out with it, or they did a beer collaboration with the next song, and then custom merch for everything. And it just makes it more memorable. And
Let me ask you about the Bronx, just out of curiosity. I love the name, and I've heard of them for years, and I know they do their thing.
Yeah.
Are they from the Bronx?
The singer lives right. I can almost see his house.
I'm assuming that's not the Bronx.
right over there. No, it's Huntington Beach.
Huntington Bronx.
Yeah. No, I didn't know when I first heard them too. I was like, oh, they're got to be from your neck of the woods. And I found out who they were, and like, Matt, the singer, lives the next street over.
No, because I've heard them for years, and I know they're like, and I when I saw them, I assumed they weren't from the Bronx, but I've heard of them for years, and I know they did. They've been doing their thing like that. I know a lot of people that love the band. And
it's a cooler name than Pico Rivera.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or one of the LA suburbs they could have chosen.
Hold on, Pico Rivera is pretty hard.
That's kind of a dope name, right?
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. And fuck it. And what's up with the fucking Rams? Huh?
I'm not a Rams fan.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying, but California.
I know. That was
close.
That was a long time coming. Like the people in LA deserve that. I guess.
But that's good night, because I know you're a sports guy, and I know you've been golfing. Freddie's been golfing a lot too. Like,
nice.
He's doing. I see you swinging, and I see, he be doing. I'm like,
it's fun. It's one of those sports, because I grew up playing basketball. I play a little bit of hockey now, still with some old hardcore guys. But golf's the sport you can take into like your 90s. You can keep doing it. Get out there, be active. It's and it's
below my hip.
It's more about that.
Hip.
Exactly.
Like
I can't play basketball anymore. It's you come out and you play against like a 25-year-old kid that's playing at the junior college, and it's no fun. Yeah. Getting
abused by some kid who should be your son.
He's exactly.
Smoking you and like.
Yeah.
The other day, my son and his whatever, he was like, yeah, whatever, old man. I looked at him, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. I was like, oh man, like.
Climbing
I'm like, yo, I wear my head to the side. Does that count for anything?
It doesn't take any years off. It doesn't.
It don't mean shit. And you know what I was gonna ask you about the band? This is something that popped up, because I don't know the lyrics of the new. Or were you? Obviously, you say you were writing some lyrics, and obviously this guy too. Are you still on writing political lyrics? Because we all know my man Zoli, if he wrote. Before, if it was out of him, it had to do with hungry, rocks, eating soups, and bombs blowing up and all that.
There's always going to be that element. I just think the guys in the band, that's kind of what we do. So there's definitely some stuff on the new record. There's a song about we got immigration issues going on here in California. We got racial tensions. I mean, not just saying, oh, it's the same old stuff, but dude, the beat on that Beatles Get Back show, they're talking about immigration issues and 1967. It's like that's something that's never going to go away. And
that's what I was going to ask you. I'm so not political, because but my shit is so wild style and what I believe in. People think I'm crazy, but California, what's the deal? Like, I could speak for Florida,
right?
Even though I'm a New Yorker, I haven't been there. I'm just saying, like, one thing I did see in Cal, and I ain't one of these guys, oh, this city's going to shit. The mayor, I don't give a fuck who's running shit. I just go on what I see.
Right.
One of the last times I was in California, which was a little bit, but it was like one of the last trips I did.
Yep.
It started looking like it was picking up. Like I was by Silver Lake, like spots that I would, recorded like our other album in, which were nice areas.
Yeah.
I saw dudes, bums having like living room setups.
Yeah.
It's
pretty widespread in LA right now, and in Orange County too.
Yeah, crazy.
Like the homeless thing.
That's what it is. It sucks if it's real homeless people.
Yeah, it is, and it's widespread. And they don't want them in certain areas, so they push them out to other areas, and then you get people complaining. So that's a whole problem in itself, man.
Yeah.
And now they're changing it to not homeless. The latest thing I heard was unhoused.
Oh, unhoused? Oh, because that's the nomadic tribes. What are you gonna call it? Unhoused.
Yeah. Unhoused. They're not homeless. They're unhoused. I was like, and that's just shifting. That's just shifting blame and stuff.
Yeah, and it ain't even about on a view thing. It's just on a little view thing, like what I see.
For sure.
Like, pretty crazy, because the same thing. Like when I went up to New York the last time. Again, I'm a New York, always will be. I went with my sons, and I went to, we went to the park, to Washington Square, Tompkins, whatever. And I did notice, you always had, a homeless, maybe a mentally disturbed guy with his dogs, maybe a little junkie guy, drug addict, but it was whatever, very, maybe like, Frisco-ish or whatever, hate, that style, where it was kind of went with the thing. Last time I was there with my sons, it was like crackhead drug dealers, not
Yes.
drug dealers, like crackhead drug dealers and their minions. And I was like, this is what was here when I was a kid. And now it's back to that. I bugged out. It bugged me out. I was like surprised.
Well, and then they all this gentrification going on in these areas where they were. So then like this old warehouse area is now a cool restaurant and everything. So they get pushed out. They get pushed out. And I think it gets more concentrated that way, it seems like.
Yeah. And how many shows you've done now since the fucking New World?
Yeah, we've done, let's see, about six.
All
6
right.
shows.
What was the first one back?
First show was Punk in the Park with Pennywise No Effects.
That one. All right. That was H2O did that one. Was that one too?
Voodoo Glow Skulls. Yeah. That wasn't the one we were on, but yeah, that was like right into like out of the frying pan into the fire. Let's go. Like, it's, we didn't have a chance to do like a warm-up show. Yeah. So it was fun. It was fun just getting out there and doing it. It just felt good to be on stage and playing again, man. Hanging out with all the dudes, like Pennywise guys were all there, and Strung Out guys, and Fear played that night. And it was fun. It was just a blast, man.
And all the shows you've done so far just been the California?
Yeah, we did like Santa Cruz, we did Morro Bay, we've done LA, we've done Orange County a couple times. Yeah, all California shows up so far.
What's obviously we know what's the word with anything outside of California? And let's start with America. Well, like anything like as far as moving in America.
Yeah, we got dates in May. Our first show on the May tour, Cinco de Mayo, Denver with Murphy's Law.
Oh man,
it's gonna be fun. Yeah,
man, Denver's good.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
It's
always
great.
Been good.
It's fucking like we haven't got there. We've been there more recently. It was been a big break for us, but we've been in the recent years and fucking off the hook.
Always good shows in Denver, and that's the first show on our U.S. run. Then we kind of make our way east, and the last show is going to be that California takeover with Earth Crisis, Snapcase, Strife.
I saw that.
Buried Alive was supposed to do it, but then 2 years later, shifted everybody's schedules. Joe Hardcore called me and he was like, "Hey, what do you guys think about jumping on this show? It's already sold out." I'm like, we'll build this little tour around that.
Hell yeah, for sure. Yeah. I saw that. I was like, Jesus. It was like, you know how much hair dye, how much sun if you would have, if we would have invested in fucking,
I know,
sun dye or peroxide, whatever you motherfuckers use to dye your hair.
I know.
Everybody out there, I think I told the story with Zoli, but many years ago, Brett and all them tried to fucking dye my hair. And I blonde, and I told
we were in
them
France.
In France, and I said I would look like a silverback gorilla if they did that.
You would have, and you were kind of dabbling with it for a second when we were out there. You're like, and then you went, no.
Because I was I could shave it, and then I looked in the mirror. I was like, I will look like a silverback.
It would be an interesting look.
Thank God.
I know.
And what's the deal with Europe? Like, I know we've all been talking with them, and that's an up in the air thing. But the one good thing that I saw was that when Terra just went and were able to do that whole UK thing, which was positive. They went, came back, and I think Turnstile went out there. What's up with Turnstile, man?
Amazing.
Motherfuckers are killing it. Yeah, hell yeah, killing it.
And when we did Persistence tour with them in 2014, I think it was, they were the first band on every night. Everybody from every band would come and watch them because it was a great band, great energy.
Yeah, dope.
Just the vibe is so good.
I backed them big time. You know what I mean? I'm like, and they're doing their thing, and I'm like, it was funny. I had a conversation a while ago with a friend of, I won't say his name to blow it up. So I let people put those things together, but a very good friend from a very popular hardcore band, which everybody loves. But anyway, and we're just talking, bands or whatever. And, we're talking, this was also maybe just a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But we're talking still, Turnstile, them. And then we're hearing, about some other new school bands, the more metal, newer bands, because everything's a little bit more on that metallic tip, which I'm all for, I'm all game. But that was, this person was like, kind of like, the people that kind of try to hate on Turnstile for kind of blowing up, and I'm like, and I was like, are you bugging? I go, if anything, their sound is what we do. Like, their style, there's the closest thing to, and I don't want to say the closest thing to hardcore because they got their hardcore kids that are doing hardcore, but with their flavor. But I go, more than some shit that sounds like Slayer, which I love Slayer.
Right.
But this shit sounds like some Bad Brains Minor Threat, which is closer to our DNA.
For sure.
Slayer and fucking, whoever, which I love. But you know what I mean?
Dude, when bands like that start getting big, it's good for everybody. It's good for everybody. It's just like when we started in the 90s, the stuff on the big rock stuff was like Clapton, Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Seattle comes, all of a sudden Metallica puts out the Black record. It was a perfect time for us to start this music thing, and we rode that wave. So the more success that bands have from our genre, dude, hats off to them. And they're cool guys, and they're cool kids.
Yeah, and you know what I love? They rep it, and like we've been on many tours with them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, and I know where they come from, and I always root for them. I tell them, I say I root for you guys because you know what? I took off those kids something. I took a little something off those guys. When I say kids, they're grown-ups, but I say it with love to them. But because I was so, Madball is Madball. We could only be Madball, and that's all we ever wanted to be. But our fucking blinders was so boom, boom, boom. And I always admired like that whole squad, and even like Ezek and his crazy way where they would just do whatever they try. I'm gonna try a rap, so I'm gonna do a metal track, I'm gonna do a rock band, and not give a fuck and not worry about like focusing on this one baby. Like I was too with Madball, we were like, we're only gonna concentrate on raising one kid. When we could multitask and raise two kids.
Totally.
But I was never like that. And I would watch those kids, the Trappernized, and they had the other band, and they had this other band, and they have this band. And I'm like, how they do it? I'm like, nobody's even blinking an eye.
No.
Like, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, people are going to talk shit. We come from a different era where you do one little move and it's showcased because there wasn't many ways for people to have eyes on you.
Yeah. It seems like it's a little bit more forgiving now when it comes to that, when people can mix it up a little bit more. Because I remember we would like Hatebreed used to open for our band and your band, and then we watched them blow up, get signed to a major, and do their thing. And I was always like, dude, just do your thing, go more metal, leave the hardcore thing, like whatever. AFI, same thing. They were small, and then they became way more gothy. Like whatever's gonna make your career, your lifestyle, your world like work better, do it.
Yeah,
and just own it.
And like they both did, like all the people you just named, they still gave back. Yes. They took out bands, to this day, Jamie will bring up, yo, let's go on tour. And I know the AFI squad, I want to get them get it home on the show. I want to freaking, I know they, with a lot of bands, not us personally, but I know a lot of our friends, and I know they love the whole scene and a lot, the whole, and that's turnstile, people that could take the culture and not forget their roots and take it with them. That, what more could we ask for? Because I say this as a joke, but I kind of mean it. I'm like, I don't want to stop till Stigma gets nominated in the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I love that.
You know what? Because I really fucking mean that in my bones. Like I really feel that should happen. Because Keith Richards should be there. Yeah, guess what? Stigma should be there. Totally. The only difference is that he didn't sell 1 trillion records, but he's still on stage on a working man level.
Yes.
And fucking going off and shout out to Keith Richards. But you know what I mean? It's like we're watching magic with AF.
Dude, so 96 when we're out on the road with you guys, we're like, that's our 3rd time in Europe. 94, 95, and now 96, we get hooked up with you guys, and Stigma's with you guys, but he's not playing. He's just hanging. He's like Madball mascot, right?
Yeah,
he's on the side of the stage with his shirt off and his tats and his guts hanging out and everything. And he was, let's see, what is he, 66 now? Something like that.
Oh my
God. He's like 40 then, and I'm 20, let's see, in 96, I'm 25. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, it seemed crazy that he was that old, 40 and still doing it.
I know.
And I was like, man, I'm 25 in 15 years. Am I still going to do it? Now I'm 50. And it's like,
it's just like started
looking at that and going back to what you said about him. Yeah. He's inspired and influenced so many people and blue collared at test of time. But it's crazy that 96, like 26 years later, the guy's still bringing it, still doing it, still impacting the scene.
Yeah, not only that, 26 later, you're still doing it.
I know.
I'm still doing it. That's big. I don't give myself, I hate patting myself. I do it joking around in general because we love what we're doing. And I know you very well. We're not this type of people like that got to walk around gassing ourselves up. No. That's the one thing I will give myself credit. In my band, and the guys like us that grinded through just lasting this long, and in the world we come from, which is one of the hardest to maintain a lifestyle, because you got to juggle, and we got to leaps and bounds more than any other music scene, just because the stigma of being kids music, not being one chord music, and just being some shit you do at a certain age. That's why, speaking on stigma, we're watching how far we could do this shit. When people, hardcore, I did it as a kid. That's because your era in that. It's not a kid thing. Stigma's writing the book on how far we could take this. Roger's writing the book. You know what I mean?
Totally. And when we played that Punk in the Park, Fear was on the show, and they were bringing it. And those dudes are old, and it's cool. It's like they're still doing it, and they're still doing it the right way, and it's cool. I respect that. Absolutely.
And before the reignition of Ignite this time around, did you think it would come back like it is? Because you guys are right now, you're ready to rock. So right now you're ready. You could go right now. If the world was open, you guys got your Europe run, you're going to go to Japan. You're going to do the whole shit, start working on another record in about a year or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Was that, I know in your head, because that's your shit, but did you think it would be where it was right now, where it is right now?
I was optimistic, hoping if we could find a guy, but probably not. No, I mean, being realistic, going, this could be very well be the end. And I don't need to go to Berlin again and play a show. I've done that 25 times, but I love it. I love doing it. I don't need to, I want to do it. It's awesome. Getting on stage and playing these songs that you wrote in your bedroom, and these people are calling you their favorite band, and singing all these words back, and these soldiers that were in the Iraq war or Afghanistan telling you that you saved their life. Like, dude, the stuff we get to do, Hoya, is like a very tiny percentage of people in the world get to do this. We've been doing it for almost 30 years. I know. And it's like, dude, we're blessed. It's like we are so lucky
by far, and especially the similarities that you guys and we have is, the connection to Europe. Not just because we play there, we really have our fingers and our toes in there. Like, like we all grew up there. Like, I can speak for you and myself. We've been going there since we're young kids. We got friends there that we hang out more with than friends we have that live in the same city. I know that about you. The same thing with us. We go there. It's like we pick up, where to go, your favorite sandwich spot, where to stay. We know the whole routine. It's like, and something that happened to me when I said I got goose pimples right now when my mother was passed, after my mother passed. But a lot of people reached out from around the world. And there was people, they had to GoFundMe for my mother's thing or whatever. And I got somebody that hit me. I forgot where they were from, somewhere in Eastern Europe. I forgot where exactly. And said, listen, I don't have much money. I would wish I could donate to you. But I have a house, my family and my children, if you ever needed a place to live, this guy's offering me his fucking house. I'm like, yo, I lost it. I was like, dude, you don't understand. I said, we don't have the millions maybe that we want.
Right.
Do we need it? No, but do we want it? Yeah, I would like it. It would make life a lot easier and whatever. Sure. But to have where people would let you stay, because I have kids, so I know what it is to let somebody in your home and be like, yo, you come and eat where I eat with my children, with my families, because I know what it is to have that and to be like, to share that. Like, it's a special thing to open up your house. And
that's a stranger. That's a dude you don't know, that you've impacted his life in such a way to get him to offer that and put that forward.
That's what I said. I was like, we used to hear that shit from our parents when we were kids. Oh, you're rich in love. And I mean, like, I don't want to hear that shit. I want a Benz. Right. I want to, I want to go to Hawaii or whatever. But that's the one thing that I really say is like, man, it's a plus. Cause I'm like, we know, and we've all been in situations where we might need friends in different places.
Exactly.
Doing what we do, we have friends in a lot of places,
Absolutely. And that takes me kind of to what watching on the TV the last 14 days with these Ukrainians, what's going on there is just heartbreaking. Yeah. And that was, so in 2019, our summer tour, we had a week off between festivals. Like, do you want to stay in Europe? Do you want to go home? Too quick to go home. So our tour manager was like, whoever wants to go, let's go to Kiev for like 4 or 5 days, do an Airbnb. So summer 2019, a few of us jumped on a plane, went to Kiev, hung out. Our Airbnb was in the Freedom Square, right in downtown Kiev, right on the corner. And these people are amazing. And I think sometimes it's hard to connect and understand and relate to these like wars and stuff are going on. When you see Afghanistan, it looks like, dude, that's Mars to me. Like,
yeah. No, this is like
but when it's a place that you've been, that I've been, and you can connect with the cuisine, we go out to dinner, the people, the culture, the nightlife. It's just heartbreaking what's going on over there. And this scumbag Putin, dude, this guy's been a scumbag his whole life. Since he was KGB Eastern Germany, he's been killing, torturing people his whole life. Like, this guy's got to go.
Yeah, like it's definitely craziness. Also the the shift of from one thing to another. Now you got this motherfucker and that whole shit going on, which is fucking insane. And it's it's from like mad people are dying here. This is the info coming here. Now mad people are dying here, and this way, whole different thing. One thing is a flu or whatever, and this other thing, now the war of the oil. It's like, man, like the world needs to catch a breather.
It does.
And for a second.
Yeah. And then from a selfish point of view, I don't want this European thing screwing up our whole
shit,
our world.
I agree.
Dude, we've been on hold for a couple years now, and now it's like shifting in. Now if this guy attacks Poland, and then it's...
I know that's all we need. I was thinking about that. My boy Theo, shout out Theo. He got a spot now. He's in Romania.
Okay, right next door.
Spot, and that's right next door. And it's like, whoa, that's the last thing you do. You wanna live life and relax and got a nice spot and you love the place, and then now this shit going on, and international what do you want to call it? Forces, military, police.
Right.
We know we've accounted that. Remember when Brett? For everybody out there, Brett was in Madball almost for for a couple of shows on our.
We had tour. Interpol on the bus, so Ignite's never had anything like crazy.
Let us tell this story.
Okay, we're all we wanted to do on tour was have fun. We didn't know how long it was going to last. The first few years we went to Europe, we just wanted to have fun, go out to clubs after, go to lunch spots during the day, and then we get on tour with you guys, crazy, scary looking dudes. And we had played a couple shows with you guys before, but we'd never like bonded or spent time. And we get on the bus, and like night one, like the bus pulls up, like in the middle of the night, you're sleeping in your little coffin bunk, and there's dogs on the bus, and there's all these police guys, but they're not police, and it's Interpol. And I'm like, Interpol is on, and they're like going through and looking at all your bunks, and we're like, and then they leave, and we're like, what is going on? And then everybody's like, we got to go to bed.
Yeah. But I remember one day where, long story short, everybody out there without too much, whatever, they were basically looking for one of my brothers.
They thought he was with you guys.
They thought he was with us, which he wasn't. But we had international police chasing us all over Europe. But the funny thing was, at one point, we got the word that they might be waiting for me because a promoter hit us and was like, yo, when you show up here, Interpol's calling, they want Hoya, blah, blah, blah. So I remember sitting with you. I go, Brett, maybe you could do us a favor. You might have to fill in.
Can you look? How's your bounce?
Yeah. How could you learn a couple of songs?
Yeah.
I remember that, and I was like, that popped in my head the other day too. I was like, wow, I forgot about that. I was like, crazy. That was crazy time and era.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, like jumping on that tour, because that tour was in 3 parts for us. We did the first week and a half with Millencolin, and put on by Visions Magazine, this big kind of like festival club tour thing. And then MAD said, okay, we got a show with you guys in Berlin with Snapcase on the off day. And then Madball's flying into Berlin, and we're driving up to Sweden to play that one of the punk rock festivals with like Civ and Rancid and stuff.
Yeah.
And jumping on that bus was just, dude, our whole MO was have fun. And I remember when we got on, you wanted to flex a little bit and like pull out, start smoking right away. And I don't know if you thought we were straight edge or whatever, but
I did, because I heard ex-uniform choice on every poster.
And we just clicked right away because all the dudes, Joe, Casey,
oh my God,
me, Zoli, we just wanted to have fun. We just wanted to.
That's what we learned. Like, wow, these motherfuckers you guys were the first that I learned, like, wow, how they take advantage of the moment. Because I remember you guys were like, fuck that, at the end of the tour, we're staying for 2 more days. We're going to Spain to the beach. And I used to be like, I never thought, I was like, wow, they're crazy. And then I used to think about, like, why not? Like,
why not?
Nobody's married. We're out here. We got friends everywhere. Why wouldn't I? Like.
Yeah. I mean, all we wanted to do, it was funny. Like, the show would be over and then like, where's the local punk rock bar for the after? And we're like, no, we want to go to like the disco. We want to go like to the nightclubs, and dude, and then we start dragging you guys to like,
absolutely.
Because we'd ask the promoter, where's the worst club in town with the worst music, and he'd be like, oh, it's over at the Palladium, but you don't want to go there, it's all university and like and Britney Spears type stuff, and we're like, we're going straight there.
Oh, so many. I remember being at so many, or even we play the venues and afterwards it'd be those wild. You remember
they turn into like discos and stuff,
where people be moshing to the fucking music, and we be out in the after parties. And shout out to Bazooka Joe. My God,
he's
best.
Crazy.
I never seen a guy walk in a room and tell me, point at the hottest girl in the room. I pointed the hottest girl in the room, and that night he leaves with the prize. Shout out to Bazooka.
He didn't care, dude. He didn't care. He was another
one. You guys, I loved watching the whole routine. It was like, get off stage, one by one. You guys took your showers, came out. I saw deodorant coming out. I saw eyeliner for Bazooka, whoever was there. I saw new shirts, iron fucking Dickies,
button-up shirts,
button-up, ready to rock. Oh my God! And then I started saying, well, we might have to follow these guys.
Dude, I remember taking Stigma to the club in London, and then, dude, later that night, it was so funny. We're in Chinatown eating food later that night in London, and we just get out of the club, and like a storefront that has a glass front, and then by the door it goes in like 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah.
I'm talking with a girl in this storefront. We're by the club, by the Chinese food place, and I hear this screaming, and I look up, and Casey just goes running by me, and I can't see either way down the alleyway. And 5, 6, 7 seconds later, 2 Chinese chefs, one with a big butcher's knife, chasing him down the street. And I was like, I gotta go. I mean, wild style.
Who was it that we left in London? Was it Zoli or KC? It was Zoli. I think it might have been. We left them, and then we came back and we found them, and we had thrown all this food in the garbage.
It was Casey. Yeah, I think it was Casey.
I think he said, while we went back, we had thrown all this leftover food and it was still there. And I actually think it was Zoli's. We started like picking at it. It was in the garbage.
You guys left Zoli in Berlin when we first jumped on the tour bus with you guys. Cause we jumped on the tour bus and Eric was like, we got to go in 5 minutes. I'm like, but our whole band's not here. He's like, I don't care. And I was like, what am I going to do? What? I was like,
you're like, no.
Yeah, what am I going to say to the Madball guys and like Eric?
You squeezed your balls and they go, that's
so we left Zoli in Berlin, and he made his way to the festival, but it was it was crazy.
But that's like kind of normal Ignite thing back then, like stay in Berlin or in one of those cities and be like, I'll meet you in the next city. I'll see you in Sweden.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out.
Hang out in Sweden. Always a lot of blonde countries. You guys did good in a lot of fucking Nordic countries.
Dude, that first festival we played, we rolled in and we realized like how big it was going to be, and then there was this lake where all the Swedish, because it's summer in Sweden, and nobody's wearing any clothes, and we were just like, what is going on? And like, this is insane. And then it's just like, open the door and let the animals loose.
Oh, absolutely. And you realize, I'm a short guy. I really realized when I showed up to Europe, like Sweden and Holland too, I was like, the height on some of these people. I never forget this. This was about 20, like maybe now, at least 26 years ago. It was like one of our first runs. I had an encounter with a fine, nice Dutch girl.
Yeah.
She had to be 8 feet tall. I was so blasted, but I just remember her bending down like she broke 90 degrees.
Yeah.
to kissed me and hugged me. It looked like, like when I bent down to pick up my son, like when he was like 4.
Dude, that was, because we played, you guys played, we were on tour with you guys, and you guys had a show at a festival that we couldn't get on, and it was in Holland, and walking around, everybody's like 6'4". I couldn't even see you guys from the crowd. I was like, I wanted to go out and watch it from the crowd.
Me too. I mean, and another one, I'm walking around and I'm thinking on the shit because I hear hoy, hoy. And I'm like, oh man, everybody's calling me. Oh, they know hoy, hoy. It's some Dutch shit. Hoy, hoy.
Yeah.
I thought they were calling me hoy. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be the next thing out here. I might just move in.
What a great country, man.
Yeah. And what's you got any so obviously you must have got some word already for Europe, right?
We got on it. So we were supposed to be there right now. With a couple really like awesome bands that are friends of ours, and that nobody could announce. And because the tour got postponed because they didn't know. Now everything's opening up. It probably would have been fine, but it was too risky for 6 bands from America to book all the flights and everything, so they just pushed it. So we got added to the Punk and Drublic with NoFX and Pennywise for May in Europe.
Oh wow, that's fucking great, man.
Big shows, big all open air outdoor stuff. So
that's dope.
That starts at the end of May, so that's 12 shows with them. And then we jump on and do like another 12 shows on our own, some festivals and stuff. And Danny's rolling with us for sound.
Oh shit, the world's greatest sound man, my brother. That's the man.
He's the best, man. I know. Gandalf with his beard now.
Oh yeah, and that's perfect for him because he's like a wizard. He's always been a wizard. You know that. He's a Jedi. We know when he was just a Jedi, a young Jedi.
All clean shave.
Yeah, clean shave. But that's great. He's gonna be it'll be great for you guys. You guys got to come out like that.
Yeah.
You got to have the big
Totally.
sound because even before that's how you had to do it. When you got vocal that's very all vocals are important, but you know what I mean. For Ignite, that's a big thing. The melodies and all that. You got to make sure the sound's on point.
Yeah, no, Danny's the man. He's excited. He was going to do a Monster Magnet tour, but so he was going to do half of it. Now he can do all the dates with us. So it's cool. We're stoked.
Giordano's the best. I love him. I would, what? When I'm gonna get him here, I'm gonna get like a bunch of fucking producers that done our shit and just have them talk some shit because I like getting people together on this that normally wouldn't be in a room together.
Totally.
I try to make scenarios where like you see those pictures like Kurt Cobain with like Biggie Smalls and whatever. I try to do the same shit sometimes, like
make some magic happen.
Yeah, I try to make the magic happen. You know what I mean? So what's now? Anybody new video? What's the deal right now? Ignite. What people could look forward to, like in the near future? What's the next move?
We got March 20. Is it 5th or 6th? March 25th is the new album coming out. So we should have another video dropping that day. And that'll be half of the album released as videos. And then the whole album comes out, vinyl, colored vinyl, all that stuff. And then we'll just run with it. And then we're gonna start touring and letting people hear the new music.
Hell yeah. And where they get the merch, where they get the record, what's the all the handles. So
Century Media is you can get it from Cortex in Berlin on their shop. But yeah, go to Century Media's website, cmdistro.com. You can get everything there. You can go to our Instagram page at Ignite Band, and that links to our website. Our link tree has everything. So tour dates, merchandise, everything that we have is up there. So just pushing as much stuff as we can right now.
Hell yeah. No, I'm glad. I'm hoping to catch you guys like somewhere live, and we could do another one of these live with the whole band and talk some shit because I'm glad I was able to get you on this break. I've been trying for a bit anyway. You know what's up. And I'm glad. I'm rooting for you guys. You know what's up. I'm glad you motherfuckers are killing it. I'm glad it happened for you guys like that because it would have hurt me if you guys would have came out whack out the box. You know what I mean? It would have been like, nah, it's cool. Like to do it. Nah, I'm really psyched and glad. And I'm glad because again, Zoli's my brother.
Yeah.
So, that's always me or whatever. So I'm glad that this guy killed it without being Zoli. So I wouldn't hold it against him, to be like, no, Zoli did his own thing, and he's dope and killing it. That I could be like, yo, I like this shit. And I could I don't feel guilty on my loyalty.
You're not cheating.
Yeah, I'm not cheating on my you know, my top biatch on my white ass. But but definitely he's killing, and I'm glad, and he's the right dude, and I'm glad the forces dropped him to you guys because that's the perfect fit. So
yeah, you never know what's gonna happen in life. It always whatever, and you just react, you do your thing, and bottom line, end of the day, dude, we all got to be happy with what we're doing. And if you're happy and you love what you're doing and you like the guys you're doing it with, I mean, that's all that really matters. And bands change. There's, of course, I don't know one band in the last that has the same lineup for the last 25 years in our punk and hardcore
for sure.
thing.
And it shows in your music, the way you're coming out. All you guys seem psyched and amped, and the music is up there still.
Yep.
That's how you got to keep. And that's another thing. I'm glad you kept that shit, because bands like us, we have a marker we got to make, and I know you're aware of that shit, and you motherfuckers hit it. So shout out to you. Shout out. Love it. Always love. I'm glad Brett the Hitman, motherfucking Rasmussen, motherfucker. But yo, on the real, I love you, bro. I'm glad you're able to do this. Everybody out there, you know what time it is. Ignite, go support them. They'll be in your city and all that good shit. This will drop next week. I'll hit you with the flyer, Brett.
Love it.
All that shit. And tell all the boys what's up.
Yeah, we all miss seeing you guys. And it's like maybe this year, maybe next year, we're going to cross paths again. And we're coming to New York in May too. Oh, no, you're down
I'm in
south.
Florida, but you never know where I'll be. But you guys might have to, there's a beach down here, yo.
That's true. That's true.
Beach, football. I know you like football.
I like it all. How'd you get those tickets right in the end zone?
You know what it was? Baby mama got it for my son, and she was like, I ain't going. She's like, you gotta go. I was like, poor me. Exactly. Dude. Yo, how great was that?
I was like, oh, he's just down there, and then they kicked him back up to the
I snuck
and
down.
Then I see, like, during the game, you're still down there, and I was like,
I know. They're like, yo, was he still? Yo, let me tell you, I always love football.
Yeah,
I think it's the greatest live thing to go to, because the minute on TV you see it stops and you hear stats live, there's music,
dude. It's
dancing.
like a rock show.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
you don't gotta even know the game to have a good time. I love it.
Yeah, it's so much stuff coming at you, like
exactly
a band playing over here, the game's going, like so much
beer
stuff.
flying, some girl with fake boobs over here, you got some drunk fat dude over there. I love it. But listen, hey man, I love you. You know what's up. This comes out next week. I'll send you all the info, and Perfect. I'm glad you were able to jump on this, man.
Yep, and we can't wait to see you guys either.
Always. Hey man, one love, and we out.
All right.